Evaluation question 4. Who would be the audience for your media product? We have come up with this profile using many of the same methods that a media institution would when conducting an audience profile. They do this so that the movie can be marketed in the most effective and profitable way, in order to maximize monetary gain. They would consider factors like age, gender, race, sexuality, disposable income, media interests, and buying habits. They would also look at demographic graphs that allow the target audience for their film to be narrowed down. For example, a demographic could be taken of sectors of work for adults, which would define their income and areas of expertise. Another method is through qualitative research, where a member of the film's production or distribution team would ask members of the public questions that would aid in defining a target audience. This is the method that we chose, handing out questionnaires to our chosen age range in order to find out key information about our audience. Our target audience for our film Necrosis is the young adult range, from 16 to 25. The reasoning behind this is that this is the audience that visits cinemas and use streaming services the most frequently. Also, as our film is a horror film, the rating will be at least BBFC 15, meaning that we cannot target our film to anyone younger than that, as they cannot go to see it at the cinema. As referred to on the BBFC website, it states, in order for a production to be rated a 15 movie, it would have to contain the following things: sex, nudity, language, threats, drugs, and violence, all of which on a smaller scale than that of an 18 movie, but with each thing not focused on for too long in a scene, most of which are shown in our movie. However, a lot of people manage to get into the cinema despite not meeting the age limit, and we would also have a secondary audience of under 15s and over 25s, but the marketing and the content of the film will not be aimed towards these groups. The characters in our film also fall in this age range, allowing the audience to easily relate to them. Our targeted audience will consist of people in both genders in order to maximise the amount of people that can go and watch the film. However, the majority of people watching the film would be male, as it is more likely for a male to go and see a horror film with lots of gore, compared to a female who would stereotypically more likely go and see a romance or a comedy. The marketing and content of the film will aim to not discriminate against any major social groups or class, and as a result, our target audience encompasses all races and religions without prejudice. This means that audience outreach can be as broad as possible within our selected age range. Despite this, we will not be targeting people with children and children themselves, or people in married relationships, as these tend to be older than 25, which is then part of our secondary audience. But the film could be targeted at people in unmarried relationships, as going to watch something like a horror movie is often seen as a good date. The audience category we have chosen is C2DE, which encompasses the lower end of income groups, as in some of the middle class, all of the lower class, and all of the working class. This means that the content of the film is not highly intellectual and would not appeal to the very rich higher class, unlike a movie like The Imitation Game would. Despite this, we would not single out the C1 categorised people, but would not aim the movie directly towards them. The reason behind this is that the C2DE category has a lot more people within it, which increases our audience outreach a lot. The geographical location of our audiences would be first world English-speaking countries, like the USA and the United Kingdom, with the latter being more prominent as this is a British film. Also, we will aim at people living in urban areas, as they are more likely to go and see movies at the cinema, and the themes shown within our film, for example the forest setting, will seem far more unfamiliar to them. Target audience consumption/purchase history can wildly vary when marketing and distributing a film, but the people do need to have experienced and hopefully enjoyed horror movies in the past, so that this is not their first. This is because they will feel uncomfortable and will be less likely to go and see and/or enjoy the movie due to the connotations of fear that come alongside the horror genre. That was my evaluation question 4. I hope you enjoyed.